We're on.
We're recording. All right.
Here we
This
go.
is it, boys. Hello. All right. Hello, listeners, and welcome to this week's 3WMD podcast. Do that better one time. 3WMD is the best place to get your weekly news roundup. We scour the internet, looking and discussing the biggest and most shocking stories so you don't need to. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm Jason.
I like it.
I'm
Mark.
Jason.
I'm Mark.
Yeah, I'm Rob. Hello.
Hey,
So
what's
today
going on?
we're talking about the terrible story of George Floyd, racist rioting Americans, that dickhead Dominic Cummings, shoe love, life-saving breasts, the best nurse in the world, and Mark's future spurn smoothie loving wife. So let's get started.
Yeah, a bit of a mix tonight.
So it is. So starting with Dominic Cummings, he's been in the press in the UK quite a lot recently. So what is this? What's going on?
Well, he was the dickhead that decided to self-isolate but drive, was it like 260 miles or something like that up north? And then did another further trip to test if he could see well enough to drive.
That's what I'm confused about. So he drove again to like somewhere quite nice, and the excuse is it was like an eye test.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty fucking cool. I mean,
But I'm pretty sure if I was driving without my lenses or my glasses, I'm soon be getting done over for that.
Like, surely that's just super dangerous anyway. Like, you drive to test your eyes. Seems like the other way around. You get your eyes tested to be able to drive, right?
Yeah, I feel like if he'd hit a child, he still would have had Boris Johnson's backing as well.
next time you'll go out, I'm going to get wasted and I'm going to drive to test if I'm actually wasted or not.
That checks out. Yeah, I like that.
I get pulled over, I'll go, wait, just let me drive home, go to bed, and then I'll tell you if I'm wasted or not.
Dominic Cummings can do it. We can too, right?
It's bizarre. And I was listening to the interviews this afternoon with Boris Johnson, and every single person that wrote in about it, he was like, "Hey, let's just move past this. It's a done deal. It's finished. Don't worry." And it's like,
yeah, they keep asking.
I never heard of this guy until he was in the news for this. I don't even know how high up he is in the Tory party or whatever it is. I don't really.
He looks like he could be Moby's dad. That's the first thing.
He's a weird looking guy.
But nothing will come of it. But
do you think he won't quit? He won't resign?
He ain't gonna quit. It would have happened by now, surely. Although no, Sod's Law, I'm gonna say it won't happen, and then as soon as we head this out,
do you agree with the outrage about it?
Oh yeah, it makes no sense. It's the worst blag of all time. He could have at least lied and said his parents couldn't fend for themselves and needed someone to be up there minding them. But he went out for the most bullshit reasonings, and he had symptoms of it while he was driving with his kid. And why?
Yes, that's right.
That's the worst bit, isn't it? He
doesn't make sense.
I assume his parents are pretty old. If he's one of the biggest our laws are all messed up. No one really knows what to do. But surely the most obvious one is if you've got symptoms, then isolate yourself.
But the problem is now people are going to undermine that now, and they're not going to say, well, if he got away with that, don't give a shit now.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least it's not happening where you are in Germany, Jason.
Yeah, so to the listeners out there, I live in Germany, so I get to escape all the exciting political updates in the UK.
Yeah.
So what's happening with the quarantine right now in the UK? What's going on?
Just got moved into a new phase. It starts Monday. You can see up to 6 people. You can visit people in their back garden. Yeah, they got changed today.
In their back garden? Okay.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to go in and use the bathroom or stay the night.
So you use a bush?
I don't know.
What are you going to do? Shit on a fucking cat or something? It's so fucking dumb.
Why can't you go in their house?
Because germs arrive on your hands and they don't want you touching stuff. Yeah. And then someone phoned in and said, can I camp in the back garden? And they're like, no.
This is so dumb.
Yeah. Well, apparently now, the weird one today, West Wittering Beach, you have to make a reservation to go to the beach. And if you don't, me and Rob went there just before lockdown, literally the day before. Me and Rob met up there, and yeah, you have to make a reservation to go there now.
You crazy? You went there just before lockdown.
Yeah, we knew it was coming and thought we'd have one last hurrah.
Yeah, we made our little plan to repopulate the world once it's just me, Mark, and women on the planet.
You and wait, if you two are the only people left on the planet, you're gonna repopulate.
Yeah, man.
I see a problem there.
There's a few technical flaws we have to iron out, but
I see a biological problem. Okay.
Then maybe if you wish hard enough, a womb might just appear from one of us.
Who would take the womb then?
We'll play rock paper scissors for it. I don't know who's the winner or loser gets to. I'm not really sure.
That could be a smooth transition to one of the stories that we found. That rock paper scissors, or paper scissors rock, as I say.
No, yeah, I did have that, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you had that one on the link, but you didn't put it on the other link later on, did you?
We could chat about that. I'm sure I remember.
I think it was one of the not so interesting stories, but what was it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
$500,000 bet on rock paper scissors that went to court or something.
I didn't read that one. So what happened?
So yeah, I think I haven't read it properly actually, but yeah, literally they made like he didn't even put like his house on it, I think, or something. Like literally a game of rock paper scissors.
Was it drunk?
I don't know where it was. I don't think so.
Because I bet Bobbins 20 grand died captain Luxembourg to the World Cup final, but it got away with a.
I don't really know the laws with verbal agreements and
it depends where you are, I suppose. But I did read in England, if you were drunk, it's not legally binding. So that was my loophole for not winning the World Cup with Luxembourg. Although I do think it was going to be like the 2020 World Cup and 2022 World Cup. And, you know, that could be postponed at this rate.
I've got the news here now. It's in
I've got the story here.
Yeah. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I'll read it quick. So a man who bet big in a best-of-3 game of rock, paper, scissors has been saved from his debt. So it's in Canada.
From his death or debt?
From his debt.
I was going to say, Jesus Christ.
Edmund Mark Hooper. He owned $500,000 after losing 2011. He was forced to remortgage his home to meet the costs before the court then writ off his debt.
Well, how long did that take them to like 9 years?
Yeah, so according to Quebec law, any contract for a bet requires a wager to be based on an activity requiring only skill or bodily exertion on the part of the parties and not simply by chance. There you go.
But that took 9 years to get to that outcome.
The guy wanted his $500,000.
The stress and grey hairs over rock, paper, scissors.
I'm pretty sure if we bet each other at that, we ain't going to be taking that seriously long term, are we?
Well, so the guy he bet with, Michael Primeau, took it very seriously. He wanted his $500,000. What a weird... why would you do that?
Well, I wonder what their relationship was there, because you wouldn't do that to... I don't know. What a weird guy.
Yeah, but who's making that bet if it's in with a mate? It's not even like a mob member, are you going to make that, are you?
A mob member?
Well, I'm just saying, the only way you do that is if they're going to slaughter your daughter to death or something, and you think, oh man, I need to
rock, paper, scissors, fist out through.
I mean, that is how I've stopped my daughter dying several times.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Wow.
That is a weird one.
That is, I mean, I know that was a smooth transition, but I can't even remember what we're talking about now.
So it was Dominic, no, it was
oh, of course, yeah, okay.
He had to book a spot at West Woodring.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit of a sideways turn. And yeah, that's probably as exciting as that got, really. I just find that weird. Who books a beach spot now? And I can imagine, like, you'd be looking like 9 weeks in the future to do it or something. Yeah,
man, like booking a holiday, you had to book a beach spot.
I see Germany, though, are letting English people in.
Oh, really?
They said they're only going to stop countries coming in that have a death rate of 50 people per 100,000, and the UK's is under 25. The problem we've got is that we've got to come back from Germany and have a 2-week quarantine when we come back in.
They not stopped that yet. I heard there's a lot of, obviously a lot of people
hasn't
happy
happened
with
yet.
This 2-week thing.
It's definitely going to. By start of July, that will not be a thing anymore.
So I want to go back to see my parents I haven't seen for a long, long time. But I'd have to go to the UK then quarantine there for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, if I wanted to go to Germany for 4 days, I have to have 18 days off to go. It makes no freaking sense.
And you get furloughed whilst you're quarantining. That'd be cool.
No.
I don't know how it works actually. Like what?
Well, the new
Work from
track and
home
trace
or...
system, if basically you get a phone call through saying, right, you need to self-isolate, you've been in contact with someone that you might at risk, they're not letting you take a test unless you have symptoms. Otherwise, if you don't have symptoms, you just got to sit in your house for 14 days and you're only getting statutory sick pay.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about
I read today that the go on, Rob.
Oh, what about the companies that like make you travel for work? I guess that would just be called off. But a lot of companies are going to send like people to the States or whatever, and then what? They're going to pay you 2 weeks to quarantine. That'd be a pretty good deal.
I mean, I don't think any of that's happening. Like, for instance, where Nisha is at Facebook, they are not doing any trips this year now. So I can imagine it'll be very...
We'll chat on Zoom.
Yeah. I imagine anything will be last resort now going abroad for these things. But I think by July, August, September, it'll be kind of as it was, and I can actually go out of the country again. I've been out of the country since bloody January. Ugh.
Yeah,
I went away the end of Feb.
Austria was the last place I was.
Austria.
Yeah. Is that the same for you, Rob?
Well, I was going to say no, but on a technicality, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I didn't consider.
I can only see the top of your head, Rob. By the way.
Yeah, Rob, you're literally a shiny head.
we're not recording like our video.
It's
no, I know, but it's nice to see them pretty eyes, you know.
It's because I'm keeping the laptop near my as near to my mouth as possible.
Okay.
That's what she said.
There you go.
That makes sense.
I heard the whole trace and track thing crashed today, didn't it?
Well, our one only starts today. It's not an app. We haven't got an app yet. It's not coming out for another couple of weeks.
It's a website now, I think.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the first day today, so it was going to crash, wasn't it? But, yeah. What was jump into another story while we're here, Jace? What you got?
Yeah. So obviously, as always, big news is obviously coming from the US every day. Obviously, this week and the last couple of weeks, George Floyd has been big in the news. Another pretty shocking story in the US. I know, Rob, you posted a few things on Instagram about that.
Yeah.
Really got some thoughts.
Yeah.
So do you want to give a quick background of what happened?
I think everyone knows.
Well, there's going to be some people out there that probably don't read the news.
Who, me or Jason?
Yeah. You go for it, Rob.
Well, I'm not an expert on it, but I'm pretty sure it was in Chicago. A guy got arrested who is a African American male. I think for forgery or something.
Yeah, I read that.
Got arrested. 4 policemen were there. I saw the video at the beginning. He's kind of being handcuffed by a car, and then I saw another video of him being forced into the back, but there wasn't a scuffle or anything, but you just don't see him completely get into the back of the car. And the next video you see is the man on the ground with a policeman's knee in the back of his neck, and obviously it's not comfortable for the guy. He's saying he can't breathe, like he's being pretty polite considering the situation he's in. And then people passing by are videoing it and saying, let him breathe. His nose is bleeding. He's not resisting arrest. Just basically concerned for him. And this prick of a policeman is just literally not taking his knee off his neck. And the video goes on for, I don't know, like nearly 10 minutes, like 8, 9, 10 minutes. And, the guy's going from, please get off me, I can't breathe, to being completely non-responsive. And you're basically just watching one human being murdering another human being. And obviously with America's history, racial issues are a big factor behind it. And I watched it and I was like, I don't really know how I thought I was upset or angry, but I was like, I felt hot from it. I felt like, I don't know, I was like sweating watching it. I was like, this is like I've seen like videos of horrible things on the internet, but it was like really uncomfortable to watch, knowing that he's basically murdered. Like,
I believe the two of the policemen involved had already had previous records against
yeah,
people.
I heard a little bit about
Really?
that.
Yeah, one of them
What's wrong with
got
American
done
police?
for excessive violence on someone again, and I think someone else. I don't know if it was what the other one was for. I think it was another crime, another one that got done for. And he'd been. I think he did a out of court settlement for 25,000 or something. So yeah, they were already being looked. They were already had records in the past. It makes it even more controversial. And they've been sacked, haven't they? But they haven't been charged yet, have they?
Be crazy. Like, why does someone who's getting arrested for fraud deserve to be pinned to the ground with a knee to his neck? It's pretty
Yeah,
insane.
especially with a knee as
so
well.
Excessive.
You can't.
I mean, I was saying that today, like, it doesn't matter really what this. Well, it does matter, but this George Floyd guy, even if he was fighting back and being, really hard work, then surely there's training that the police do to arrest someone in a safe way. I mean, they are technically there to serve and protect you, aren't they? Like, surely
they'll be trained in restraining in safe ways, and they
I'm
have
sure
not.
putting your knee in someone's neck is not one of them.
I'm sure by the time we do another podcast, they would have been arrested at least, hopefully. But you never know with America.
No, that's it. And
it's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, and today the news coming from the US is the riots as well, right in Minnesota. So clearly that's caused more unrest, which is a continuing story, right?
Oh yeah, that won't go away for a while. And obviously that isn't going to help their situation with the COVID-19 because that's just going to cause more crowds of people, and could spread further if a lot of them have it. And it's a bit of a mess. I'm glad I'm not in America, although I was supposed to have been in there with Rob like the other week.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bit of a bummer at the same time.
Yeah. Or a knee.
Luckily, we're white guys, right? We're safe.
Yeah, we may have been. Yeah, we would have just died of corona instead.
I have been pulled over by a policeman with a gun, actually, in America.
Really?
What the hell are you doing, Rob?
Well,
fraud?
I don't know if you guys know this, but in America, you can I think you can turn right at a traffic light when the lights are red.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like yielding the way. Like there's a situation, I think a lot of countries do it, but we don't.
A lot of European countries do.
And I think I was in Orlando where there's a lot of tourists, and then I was driving probably for about a month in America at this point, and I got a bit confident, and the car in front of me was not turning, so I was like bibbing, and they wouldn't move, so I overtook this car and then went around that person and onto the road, and I got pulled over by the police saying you can turn right on the red light, but you can't overtake someone in front of you at a traffic light to do it. And
I got pulled over in America. I would be shitting myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
How many stories do you hear, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
you're going away for a long time, boy.
We were like a pig.
Pretty scary.
We'll be doing the Rob's next podcast from his jail cell.
Yeah. Oh no.
So this kind of racial stories are flowing out of the US at the moment. So obviously the other one this week was about that woman walking her dog who wasn't allowed, and then American politely asked, "Hey, put your dog on a leash," and she started screaming and calling the police.
She said, there was an African American guy that was
threatening her life.
Threatening her life, yeah.
Insane, isn't it? Because he was very polite. I've heard the audio. He was very polite about it as well.
I feel like he was lucky he was recording it because you certainly got to take the wrong person, and he would have been in serious trouble.
Yeah. It's like
dodgy, man.
I don't know. That woman just, deserves to be probably punched in the face, and I think I heard she might have been lost her job for it. So obviously,
she got fired. Yeah, an investment firm. Yeah,
it's not really on the same level as this. I think his name is it Derek Chauvin or Chauvin? That other policeman, like that guy needs to go to fucking prison, like the policeman. Oh, have you guys got a message?
Yeah, from Zoom saying we've removed the 40-minute time limit. I'm going to click love it. Did you get that,
Why
Jason?
did it do that? Yeah.
Just letting us, maybe we hit 40 minutes.
Wow, that was quick.
But we were plonking around again for a bit beforehand. I don't know what plonking around means, but...
You're always plonking around, Mark.
I don't know.
There's been a lot coming out of America, because there's one I haven't actually looked into much, but there was like 2 white guys that shot a black guy that was running down the street.
Yeah.
They just assumed that he was robbing the places or something.
Like, this is ridiculous. They thought he looked similar to a guy that did a few robberies. And so they literally like followed him in a car, told him to stop. He's obviously not very happy. He gets in a little scuffle with the son or the dad. Then the other one shoots him. Fucking crazy. And these guys did not get arrested, right? It took like press and media and people to put pressure on them.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be more worried about the people than the COVID at the moment. It's gone mental.
Many threats in the US, right?
That's always the thing with America, though. Like, even when ISIS was like the whole world, that was the big news. Everyone was on edge. It was like, compare, the deaths caused by terrorism compared to what's going on in your school shootings and police brutality and shit like that. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, if I was an American citizen, I'd be like, we need to sort our own shit out, because I don't know. They seem to be pointing fingers at everyone else and not.
Yeah. So that story relates to Ahmaud Arbery. So he's the victim who was shot by the 2 probably hillbilly looking.
Yeah. I don't know too much about that story, but
yeah, it's not cheery times in America.
Well, I did thanks to America, I wasted about an hour of my life last night. I was waiting for the big NASA launch, SpaceX. Very weather can stop.
Was you actually? You wasn't, just to clarify, you weren't.
I was waiting for it. Yeah, man. I was like just like live on the BBC or on my Twitter feed. I had a live feed, and you can see the guys.
Keep off the BBC, because you left us.
But man, I was waiting in bed, just chilling, waiting for it, and nothing happened.
I didn't even know this was happening.
I didn't.
Like weather. Apparently, the weather was not good enough to launch the rocket.
I wouldn't have even assumed that it would matter about the weather launching a spaceship.
I know, right? Dark clouds, probably dark clouds, the US. So like these astronauts, right? These 2 American astronauts, the first astronauts to be launched by the US for many years. They've been training for months, right? They get to their day of being launched to the International Space Station, and suddenly that's it, game over. They got to go back to their hotel, back on Earth. That's crazy. So, yeah.
Why would you need weather for that, though?
Saturday, they're going to retry, if you're interested.
I'm just racking my brains with this. It's not like, we haven't got any windscreen wipers. I don't get it.
Dark clouds are scared of, yeah. If SpaceX, right? It's crazy how much.
Where was this launch heading to?
So they were taking them to the International Space Station, 2 American astronauts.
And what was the weather?
Just dark clouds.
And clouds.
30 minutes after the proposed launch time, which got cancelled before, obviously, the weather was perfect as well. So they got bad luck.
It'll be through them in about 4 seconds.
I don't know.
I've not even had a flight cancelled for clouds on EasyJet.
No. Maybe
for
we can get a NASA expert in for our guest, and they can explain to us.
It'd be good. I'll find one of the astronauts. We can speak to them live on the International Space Station. Well, maybe they were scared of the clouds. They wanted a clear flight, so that's quite annoying. But
maybe Mark was one of the astronauts.
Your whole day.
Well, the best thing was Trump and Pence and all these big, high up, cool guys in America all flew out to Nevada or whatever it was, and they all sat there, and in the end, nothing happened. So,
all the best stories are in America this week. I'm pretty sure almost every one we're looking at today,
all the UK talks about is bloody Dominic Cummings. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the last 6 months was Brexit, then COVID-19, and now
Don't mention that, man.
Although I would like to say, Boris Johnson needs to learn how to use a comb. And that's all I think of when I look at him.
He looks shockingly terrible at all times.
You just come to that conclusion.
No, I just have to see it more and think, comb your hair, man. I don't trust you with a comb, let alone freaking country.
But I have done some research and I've come up with quite a few the most interesting stories this week.
Yeah, there are some good ones.
We have some good ones. So we can go for the interesting, light-hearted, a bit more fun story.
Yeah, I think, we'll do some happy news or something funny at least.
So this headline caught my eye quite quickly. Man with shoe fetish stole 126 flip-flops so he could have sex with them. So it's interesting. I think it's from Thailand. And I've got a picture here. We'll tweet the link afterwards. I think he stole it from his neighbors at night.
I want to know how, in the article it says he wore them and then had sex with them. How can you have sex with a flip-flop?
Yeah, that's the bit I'm struggling with. Like, did he put a hole in them?
Now, that's all I can think of, other than he dangled it on his phallus and rubbed it up and down. I don't know. I assume it's got a hole in it, right? Asking for a friend.
What colours? What did he like?
It's like the whole thing, like, what base did you get to with your flip-flop? I mean, unless it's got a hole in it, is it really sex? Does that count?
I mean, even if it has a hole in it, can you class that as sex?
Every hole is a goal, isn't it?
Also, did he wear them again afterwards?
Was there consent?
That's it.
Did the flip-flop consent to this? Or was it flip-flop rape?
I mean, there's a lot of aspects that we could look at.
So he cuddled and kissed them, stripping off and rubbing them on his body before having sex with them. So he had foreplay. Nice guy.
Now, the only person I know that has hugged an inanimate object like that was Bobbins when he was so happy he found an iron brew in his fridge that he took it up to bed and cuddled it to sleep. And I thought that was weird. So this kind of, when I heard about this, I thought of that immediately. But
you make his iron brew warm. That's not good.
Yeah, I mean, is that any weirder than cuddling a flip-flop?
Did he have sex with the iron brew afterwards? That's the good question.
I want to know. Could you fit your dick in a bottle of iron brew?
Oh, I would not.
I'll let Bobbins try first.
I mean, I definitely have tried to put my dick in a bottle before, just to see.
Oh my god!
It's not possible.
I mean, if we had to vote to shag a drink or a flip-flop, I think I'll go for the flip-flop. I might have to clean it, but I'm just scared.
I don't know what would hurt more, though. Oh, it'd have to be a flip-flop because you can't physically do it in a bottle.
If you're talking about...
I feel like you two are definitely going to try over the weekend to put your dick in a bottle now.
The top of a bottle, like this?
No. Well, yeah, but obviously, like, just like a generic bottle of fizzy pop.
Fizzy pop. But what's your fizzy pop of choice, Mark? What was it?
I mean,
what got
I'm
you
going to throw that out there. That's a very small hole, Mark.
That's probably an even smaller hole than a normal bottle of drink. But it's impossible unless you have the world's smallest, which we can.
What I don't get about this story, just going back to that quick, is how did he get caught? Like, did someone see him? It doesn't say. So I think he stole them. So I think he got arrested for stealing.
Yeah, but then they must know there's got to be evidence he fucked it.
Nighttime, he got admitted for 3 charges of nighttime theft and snatching.
Once you got one pair of flip-flops, why do you need to get 125 more pairs?
I don't think they were all specifically flip-flops, were they?
Yeah, they are kind of like
they're all flip-flops.
But no, there are some normal shoes. I like you. And the best thing was he got charged for violating coronavirus curfew.
Oh my god! For him, it's like if we talk about do you go for blondes or brunettes or tall or short girls or big boobs or like like do you go for high heels or flip flops or sandals or slippers?
So So he was fully admitted for stealing the sandals for lured purposes. So yeah, that's a great one.
Maybe he thought it was a shoe-in. No,
it's making me curious to like log on to Pornhub and see if it's like a
Oh, is it getting you going, is it?
Well, it's obviously working for this guy in Thailand, so there must be a
Do you remember on my birthday last year where Zeppi was on about quicksand porn, and I'd never heard of it?
Yeah.
Quicksand porn.
And then he showed us it. It's like people get off on videos of people faking they're drowning in quicksand and dying, and that's a fetish.
No, that's just
Yeah, he showed us the videos on Pornhub of it. And we're like,
how did he find this?
It's Zeppi. He's a bit of a eccentric young man, isn't he?
So women get off on this?
No, God. Well, anyone can get off on this.
Okay.
Just, I don't even know how you'd consider getting into that.
Yeah, it's like
It's fascinating, though.
Fascinating.
There was a lot of weird.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's move off of this.
Yeah. So another story caught my eye. Life-saving breasts. So a woman was saved by her breast implant that deflected a bullet away from her heart.
Was this in America again?
Probably. So there's Canada. So Canada's
There's
Canadians
no crime in Canada.
Apparently people get shot and people get boob implants. So there's a woman out there thinking about a breast implant. Another consideration is to think about life-saving purposes as well. What's in them to deflect a bullet?
Yeah, I didn't think like silicone would
really. Skill.
I believe I read it also flipped the implant.
Oh.
And I thought, well, yeah.
Flat bit on at the edge end now.
The pressure of it must have just turned it.
Surely it must have hurt still.
Oh yeah, but I think I read she didn't know she'd been shot until she felt some like burning sensation.
This is walking down the road.
It cracked her rib, right?
What?
Yeah.
Why did she get shot?
Yeah.
I don't know. She doesn't know anything. She's just walking down the street, man.
Was it a woman with small boobs annoyed that she had big boobs? So then did it really save her life?
I can't imagine a scenario how someone gets shot without like either someone, I don't know, like no screen, like what the fuck? It's like it's not something that happens like by accident without you knowing.
But so what you're saying is if we ever go to Canada, we should get a boob job.
Yep. That's exactly my takeaway from that story.
That's the moral of the story. Rob?
Right. So I've come across another good article today. Okay. A nurse is reprimanded for wearing a bikini under her transparent PPE.
Now I saw photos of this, which we'll ping up on Twitter.
So this is in Russia. She apparently didn't realize it was see-through.
How can you not realize? It's like plastic sheet, which is clear.
Now, if I do get coronavirus, I am hopefully being transmitted to this hospital in Russia because it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, she did look like she had a cracking bod as well. So I feel like she was doing it to flaunt it more than anything.
I'm just trying to find this now.
There's a picture, right, and they've got like an old guy in the background, literally just staring at her. Just like, that'll make him feel better.
Did she give a reason for it? I can imagine plastic being hot. Got some of these stories.
Did she keep her job?
I think so. She was just told off.
Excellent, because you need more nurses like that.
Yeah, got it here.
So she violated uniform requirements. That's all right. What's wrong with it? Just kill the Russians.
I mean, it's a good distraction, isn't it?
Exactly.
But
yeah, it's a weird story. I'm just reading through it now. I mean, it doesn't really give much away.
I know. I mean, if she was like hideous, I could understand why they'd be slightly annoyed with it. But
she's in her 20s, pretty skinny.
Yeah.
I mean, literally all you can see is her thighs, body, and her eyes, and everything else is completely like masked up. But
Is that going to be like your new fetish now?
It's less weird than some of the things we've spoken about.
I mean, it might not beat your quicksand one now, but
I'm still confused by the quicksand stuff.
I'm not claiming that fetish.
I meant, I don't know anyone that has that fetish other than, well, I don't even think Zeppy is fetish. I think he's just fascinated by it, and it was very interesting to see.
I don't understand how that even qualifies as porn. I think we had this conversation at the time. I mean,
I think she was in a bikini. Raunchy.
Just don't make sense.
Raunchy. Okay.
No.
Should we move on? I've got another story here for you guys.
Let's move on.
So it's the newest, so the new form of drugs. You can't yet buy on the street, but maybe it's coming soon. So the article is, scientists say they went cuckoo due to laughing gas from penguin poo. Literally, the amount of shit from the penguins was making the scientists high, which like laughing gas.
Is that more likely to happen in a penguin than another animal?
Yeah, Matt, they're getting high on nitrous oxide. I don't know. Maybe their poop is really high in nitrous oxide.
It's weird, isn't it? Because don't people get high off cat piss as well, or something like that?
Really?
You're going by a South Park episode, right?
Yeah, but I'm sure I looked into this at the time. It might not be piss. It's like something they spray, like a hormone or something. But then also, like, cow farts are killing the planet, aren't they? Like methane.
Yeah, no, that's true. Or is that like a made-up thing? I've never quite understood that.
It seems to be like quite a common kind of subject of discussion with global warming. Because I
did wonder why that it wasn't about farming. It was an issue, but that would make sense, I suppose.
So if you guys ever want to get like a hit or get a nice high, all you need to do is find a colony of penguins and then go sniffing their shit.
I wonder if it's like different, like when you smoke weed, there's like weed that will get you like really fucked up, some that will like mellow you out, some will like make you, I don't know, hallucinate, like sativa. I wonder if it's like different penguins like do different
side effects. I mean, you definitely wouldn't look as cool smearing your face in penguin shit over smoking weed.
I think us three should move to Amsterdam and open up a penguin coffee shop. Just penguins.
With pet penguins as well.
One of us should get some penguins. One of us get some cats. One of us get some cows, and we'll see who's higher.
Tight. See
There's definitely a TV show there.
The weirdest.
So if any of you broadcasters are listening, we are available for work.
Also, we copyright that idea.
Yeah, although that would be the terrible debut on television doing that show. That might be worse than doing like Celebrity Love Island.
I feel like that would work well on Adult Swim, like a animated TV show.
Oh, what was that? What was that? Oh, Bravo. That was what they would buy anything back in the day. Although, mind you, Netflix probably would do that as well.
Yeah. Do you not see Too Hot to Handle? Oh man.
What was the one we got obsessed with, Rob?
Not Too Hot to Handle.
Love is Blind or something like that?
Love is Blind. That was a banger.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Jason?
Really? I haven't seen that. I know Rob gave it 10 out of 10, didn't you? On your
no, I didn't rate that. That was not my movie. That was like a series. Don't you know what it's about?
Nope.
In a nutshell, like they have like a room full of guys and or not a room, like a house, like a Big Brother house full of guys, a Big Brother house full of girls, and they go on these blind dates where they literally talk to each other through this pod, but they can't see each other. And they're not really supposed to be talking about their like physical appearance and stuff like that. They're just literally try to have a connection. And once they start getting to know people, they request to talk to that certain person they like more and more. And then basically you're supposed to get married on the show without seeing someone, or you get proposed to.
It's like
they propose to them and then they get to see them afterwards, and then they've got to live with each other for a few weeks before the wedding.
Yeah.
And
So it's like a kind of a modern blind date that then
kind
goes
of,
a step
yeah.
further, where
But
they get married. That's crazy.
there was some absolute knobs in it, and
Of course.
it made very good television. Essentially, we was like super hungover at Nisha's house, and we just sat there and watched episode after episode, and then finally, after me and Rob went home, we continued it because we thought it'd be rude not to. And my God, they got a second season renewed, Rob.
Is it coming out soon?
I hope so. Although it's probably delayed now because they can't isolate so while doing that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
And it's America. God damn it.
Yeah, do they self-isolate? I don't
America.
think they do. I think some states are like just doing what they want, aren't they? And some states are like really locked down.
Belarus definitely are.
Belarus.
They haven't stopped at all for this.
Oh, right, yeah.
Well, I know football continued.
But then I
nothing
looked at the
all.
death rate today. It's 214 people. And I'm like, but they're literally just doing everything they want.
That's 75% of their population, isn't it?
Exactly right.
They've had over 30,000 cases of it.
Oh, shit.
So I think it was their president that said they'll just drink vodka.
Yes.
Yeah,
He did. Yeah, drink vodka.
I mean, I have drunk vodka while this is going on, and I have not died of it. So checks out.
That's life changing advice.
It is.
There. Medical advice. No, it's not medical
Maybe
advice.
yeah,
Don't listen to people.
don't take drugs.
But drink vodka. It's okay.
Only cow piss. Okay, sorry. Yeah, digressing. You had another story, I believe.
Yeah, so I come across another story that was really interesting, and I think if she ever becomes single, could be a great future wife for one of you guys.
Oh my
So
God.
the
This is local to me. But go ahead,
Really?
sorry. Yeah, I think so.
So the article title is "Mum Drinks Sperm Smoothies to Fight Off Coronavirus." So that's potentially some medical advice for everyone, or maybe not.
I mean,
So yeah,
Where is she from?
Aylesbury.
Okay, so
It's
interesting.
not too far from me. I mean, it's not near.
on the article there's like photos of the smoothie, which is pretty
And what was her purpose for doing this?
So she's not had a cold or flu for 3 years because she's been drinking it. So she drank it previous to Corona.
So are you saying this could be a COVID cure?
Yeah, potentially. So she takes 3 shots a week of a smoothie that includes her boyfriend's semen.
So if she was single, where is she getting the semen?
No, she's not. She's got a boyfriend.
Yeah, but has she had a boyfriend the whole time she's been doing this?
Yes. Probably.
And it's been the same boyfriend because maybe he's just got magic jizz.
Maybe. I found there's a quote here. I found a free and vegan-friendly alternative method to boost the body's immune system.
Does that
It's
even
vegan.
class as... Is that vegan?
I was thinking it's from
I'm pretty sure it's high in protein as well.
It can't be vegan though,
That
because
isn't
it comes
vegan.
from
It's not
from an
plant-based,
animal,
is it?
from a guy.
I've been trying to
is
like.
my jizz vegan? But high chance it's not vegan. This could be a big debate.
As animals.
Yeah, but it's got to be plant-based if it's vegan, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It can't come from an animal, right?
That's why, yeah, like you can't have milk.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So just a big point here. The remedy has not been verified by the World Health Organization. So,
but she's not died from it, so keep drinking.
It's not going to harm you.
Cold and flu-free for 3 years.
But again, I stand by. Could that be because he's got magic jizz?
Can we resume this chat in a minute? I was going to make a milkshake.
Apparently, she even freezes his stuff because they have a long distance thing. So open up the freezer and what's that in there?
I'm kind of thinking, like, does it stink of jizz? Because that will just that's disgusting. I mean, it might not be disgusting for her
because of the quantities. It probably wouldn't.
I have previously heard that it's pretty healthy stuff when it comes out. And it has been. I've read a story of someone like she puts it on her face instead of face cream.
Yeah.
So are we just wasting it then?
As well.
We should start a business of selling our stuff for health and beauty purposes.
Just mix it all in one giant bowl.
How much?
We might all have different levels of.
Oh, don't. Let's move
Yeah.
on. Yeah. Well, that was a great story.
I'm just saying, if it was found to help treat coronavirus, would you drink it?
No.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Really? Like, no.
I mean,
If you knew guaranteed you're immune from coronavirus, if you have one milkshake with your jizz in every week, and you wouldn't do it.
No.
You wouldn't do
it. Man.
That's weird.
You would? You're wrong.
I'd have 3 of them. I'm just saying.
Which came up with that idea to start doing it, and then assume because you haven't been ill, it's because of that. Like,
I reckon he did it. He did it as a joke one day, and she's like, "Well, this tastes nice with no one." He's like, "Guess what I done?"
Well, I'm not ill today. I'm going to do it again tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure every man has tried to convince like their girlfriend like drinking jizz is good for you. Like, I
mean, I haven't, but thanks for the secrets. Jason, have you?
No.
There's a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true or what, but about eating pineapple. Apparently.
Oh yeah, that's true.
What is it?
It makes your jizz taste sweet.
No way, really?
Yeah, if you have a high pineapple diet. So I imagine
a high pineapple diet. Yeah.
I imagine when I was in America, Bobbin's jizz must have literally. A pineapple must have come out of his fucking dick because he bought a kilo of the stuff and ate that within like 2 hours.
His would have been like a candy rainbow.
Yeah, that's your milkshake.
Yeah.
Nah.
All right.
I'll stick to my own, thanks.
But everyone, apparently, it's not yet proven, but sperm milkshakes are the way forward for a long and healthy life.
It's not ruled out that it's healthy though, so keep trying. We need these remedies to change the world one day.
So I think I've come across another article that highlights the best development from coronavirus.
Go on.
The best thing coming out of coronavirus: drive-through strip clubs.
Yes.
Back to America. So how desperate would you need to be to go for a drive-through strip club?
Also, wouldn't.
What do you think it should be normal?
They're driving it to you though, the food, isn't it? They're delivery driving with a lap dance. That's what I took out of it.
Ah, okay.
No, so that's not a drive-through, no. That's different.
This is a delivery service. They've turned it into like a food, did they not? I'm pretty sure I read that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But my issue with this is, if they're delivering you the food with like a show. You're just highlighting to everyone in your area that you're going to strip clubs.
Why would anyone do that?
That's weird. And if I'm ordering food, generally I'm hungry, not horny.
I kind of get like if I lived alone and I had to take isolation seriously or like lockdown seriously, just to see a human body. I mean, lately since lockdowns like ease across here and the sun's been coming out, like women are walking around, you know, looking good in their summer outfits, and it's like, oh shit, I remember that. I remember perving. So they might be they might be like that, where it's just been so long of like staring at porn on their TV and watching Netflix, they just want to see a human being. So
I see your point.
I'm not gonna judge them for being perverted.
So what I'm reading here is it literally a drive-through? So you can go to like whatever it is, and you can order food at the club, and then you're like drive through like the car park, which they've made it out to be like a strip club lounge, and you order the food and slowly drive through like this makeshift strip club, and then the women who have to wear masks and gloves. So they're not fully naked. Shocking.
So is the woman from Russia working there?
And then you can grab your food and eat it in your car and go home.
Perfect. That's weird.
Right there.
There's clearly a demand for it, but I just don't get it.
Lucky Devil and Lucky Devil takeout.
Well,
I don't know what the
I was
quality of the
actually
food
more shocked and confused when I was in America and I found out there was drive-through pharmacies. I just thought, why do they have to drive through everything? But
Drive-through liquor stores as well.
yeah,
They did in Australia
That's
as well.
not encouraging, like, drink driving, is it?
and ATMs as well. Like they drive through ATMs. It's just like
ADM.
But yeah, I kind of see the point of this. Like, I don't know. I kind of see it more than actual normal strip clubs because when normal strip clubs are open, you can go to normal clubs and meet like women that might actually be interested in you rather than your money. But with this, like, I don't know, with like the whole mental health and loneliness and cabin fever, I think it was kind of a good little business idea.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely got a market. I mean, I probably wouldn't be doing it, but you know, people would apparently, and Rob being one of them.
Bring it to the UK. Bring it to Watford.
Solid.
Watford, yeah, Watford's strip club industry is dying at the moment. We need to revive it.
This has been a very America-heavy episode.
It has.
They do have the best news. I don't know if they have the best news or if it's just like our news is dominated by that country for some reason.
That's what it is, right?
We seem to not give a shit about non-English speaking countries.
The UK just has always one big news topic, whether it's Brexit or elections or Dominic Cummings.
I'd take anything for Brexit talk to be back over this blooming COVID shit, man. God, it's just the most depressing news every bloody morning when I wake up. It's a good day today, and then Piers Morgan's on. I'm like, oh, it's a terrible day today.
Cool. The last news I ever listened to was the one where we thought, well, there's a big announcement about the lockdown update, which was about 3 weeks ago, I think now. Maybe 2, 3, I don't know.
I can't believe you haven't gone back yet.
No. I'm loving it. No.
Hard for some, innit?
I was saying it's like summer holidays for me because most mornings I kind of try to get into a routine where it feels like it's not like a job, but I get out by a certain time in the morning and I just sometimes take a football to the park, either play football or basketball, do either a little jog or a little YouTube exercise routine, and then come back for lunch and then do whatever the hell else I need to do. But
make a podcast.
Exactly.
Did we have any more stories, Jace?
Yeah, that's my list of stories. For
how long have you been running for?
I don't know. It doesn't say, does it?
I feel like we've been on for about an hour. So that's pretty good going.
Yeah, we should have checked the start time. Oh well. So
yeah, we should have.
We live and we learn.
It's all part of the learning process.
Someone messaged me just as we went live.
I sent you the audio thing at.
This is literally when we went live, so we've been live about an hour.
It's pretty good. I think for the first one, we were aiming for that, weren't we?
An hour since I sent that photo, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
That's worked out perfect because you're out of topics, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Cool beans.
That's it. That was all my interesting stories for the day.
Well, hope you've enjoyed the first podcast, guys.
Yeah. I'm about to go and wank in a cup.
Need some milk?
Milkshakes for everyone.
So next time we'll give you the updates on if we got coronavirus or not after having our milkshakes. I'll be taking vanilla.
Even I've heard it can be transmitted through sex, so that clearly is this terrible idea.
Say again?
I think it can be transmitted by sex, coronavirus. So the whole drinking sperm. Yeah, no.
Could you get an STI from drinking that milkshake?
Yeah, probably.
This is the points we need to leave it on.
On that bombshell.
We'll find out next week when Jason has my milkshake.
Is this the point where our podcast goes from a news one to like just a jizz related news?
I like to think this is always just related news.
Men's health and females' health as well. Actually.
I'm worried about them all.
Exactly.
Right. Well, thank you for joining the first ever podcast. And we'll be back again next week for more exciting shit.
It's been a pleasure.
Keep it real, guys.
Peace out. Till next time.
Okay. Do you want to hit to stop recording, Rob?
Ooh.